So today we're looking also at purification once again. Why? Because I think it's a very intense form of self-care. And most people think that in order for us to actually practice self-care, that we need things from the outside of us. But self-care actually means the opposite. It means going internally and rediscovering that magical kingdom that lies within, where all healing lies. When we heal, what do we find at the bottom of it, and the top of it, surrounding it, all over it, but love, true, real love. Not romantic love, but self-love. So how do we get there? We have to purify all of the different ways in which we limit ourselves. How do we limit ourselves? By seeing obstacles everywhere, by focusing on the external, by focusing on what we know, by always going for the familiar, by staying in our comfort zones, by being addicted to self-criticism, by a ridiculous amount of time spent in judging yourself and self-judgment and constantly thinking of yourself as unworthy. You're not unworthy. The universe doesn't make mistakes. You would not be here along with the stunning, gorgeous redwood trees, the most amazing dahlias and roses blooming, the most magical, incredible kingdoms of mountains and water, bodies of water, like the oceans and the rivers and the pools and the streams and the seas, and all of the different gorgeous, stunning birds and other animals that inhabit the earth. You think you're the only one that's a mistake, and they're not? Nobody's a mistake. And so I invite you today to purify these thoughts from your mind. All of these things that you've taken on from others and you've made your own. All of these things that pull you down and diminish you and pull you back and prevent you from moving into the tremendous magic and beauty of who you are. I'm inviting you to do that today. And how? To start purifying these thoughts. You can use essential oils. You can use lemongrass. You can use so many different kinds of essential oils to help you to do this. Put them on the points, the energy points in your body. You can just smell them. You can diffuse them. You can put them in the bathtub. You can rub them on yourself. But start using some essential oils and seeing the difference and how you feel much more uplifted. And it helps tremendous with healing. What we smell, the scents, you also can start by changing your food. Just start at least eating one meal of fruits a day. Make sure that there's no herbicides, pesticides, or fungicides on them. They're not genetically modified, please, otherwise you're not getting any of the benefits and you're just poisoning yourself more. But we poison ourselves with words every day, the words we call ourselves, the words we tell ourselves, the language that we use regarding ourselves. You need to start working on that as well. And one of the ways in which we do that, when I work with clients, is the first thing I do is I work on changing their language. But you can start reading the book Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. You can study NLP with an NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming. That's one of the things that I use in my work with clients is reprogramming them neuro-linguistically. And I created my own peace-based communication skills method that I use with clients as well. And one of the other things you can do is start reading certain books. For example, this book is one of my absolutely go-to favorites. And it's a book that burst me open to so many things in which I was so constricted. And that is this book, Care of the Soul by Thomas More. Thomas More was really important for me. And I believe that if and when you take the time to read this and avail yourself of this, it will become a very important source book for you. And if you feel like in the depths of despair now and you say, oh, forget it, all you're talking about is just raising my vibrational energy when I'm at the lowest point of my existence right now. I am dealing here with a severe illness. I'm dealing with a tremendous amount of physical pain, and you want me to read when I can't even lift my hands long enough to hold the book? Yes, I do wish for you to read. And there are audiobooks. You can ask the library to send you audiobooks. Now that we no longer can go into the libraries in many places, you can do that online. And you can listen to these audiobooks instead. So the one that I'm really asking for those of you in the depths of pain and self-criticism right now is When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron. When Things Fall Apart, especially if you're dealing with death and dying and disease, and you're dealing with feeling a tremendous loss in your life. You know, it's interesting, we feel the loss of people around us when they make their transitions, but we don't mourn the loss of ourselves. And the loss of ourselves begin when we start putting ourselves third, fourth, fifth at the bottom of the rung, at the bottom of the ladder. And that is what I'm asking you to do today. As self-purification is to find different ways in which you can really begin to purify these thoughts from your body, because unless we purify the mind, we're going to be attracted to all the different forms of polluting our lives, and we're going to stay there and rot along with the pollution. But you are a divine human being. You were not put here to rot. You were put here to bloom and to light up your own life first before you light up the rest of us. I did a elegant raw tidbit last week in which I was reminding you all that we are all came here as lighthouses, and it's time for you to now rise up, find the light within you. Forget about all the obstacles that you see. Forget about all of the things that you believe hold you back. They just exist in your mind. Allow those of us who know for a fact that we're all beings of light and love, and that we're all of us here to heal ourselves. Please allow us to help you. Allow us to shine through in the darkness, the depth of the darkness of your being, and allow us to reach out to you and invite you to come forth and use these 2 books or the audiobooks if you need to assist yourself in coming to the truth of who you are. I've also recommended other books in the past. Please look at other videos that I did on these elegantly raw tidbits. Subscribe below and click the notification button so you don't miss them, so that you have a source if you don't have one already, or if you'd like additional sources that you can use to muster the courage to just pull yourself up long enough so you can get through these books and you can find that you're not the only one. The thing is that when we're suffering, we think we're the only ones who feel that way or have ever felt that way, and we're the only ones who are hurting. In the depths of your pain, you will find love. In the depths of your pain, the parts of yourself that needs to be ripped apart and exposed to the light, if you allow it to. That's the point of the pain. So I invite you today to find ways in which to practice self-purification so you can practice self-care. Join me here in the conversation, won't you, in the comments, or just click the like button if that made any sense to you at all. If it doesn't make sense, save it. Come back to it. Change your diet first. Start with 1 fruit meal a day. If you do not have access to fruits because you don't have the money, ask somebody with fruit trees to give you the surplus. Just walk around the neighborhood or somebody else's neighborhood and see if they have excess fruit trees. But reach out. You're not alone in this. We're all here together. So I'm going to remind you of something when we leave here today. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. So all I'm asking you to do is to wake up and just give yourself a chance. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.